Hi everyone, welcome back to i-TUTOR IAS Academy Tamil Nadu History NCERT series. So today we are discussing Unit 12, that is South Indian Kingdoms 2. And first we discussed about Pallavas, right? Hope you remember. And today we are going to discuss about Chalukyas and Rashtrakutas of South Indian Kingdom. And why it is important? Chalukyas, that is Badami or Kalyani, and Rashtrakutas are Manikheta, are crucial Deccan dynasties, with the Rashtrakutas rising by overthrowing the Badami Chalukyas in the 8th century and establishing a vast empire bridging North and South India. Okay, so please pinpoint Rashtrakuta and Chalukyas in your map study. It will help you for your map study well. And it's known for their significant patronage of Kannada literature and Jainism and rock cut architecture, that is Elora's Kailas temple, and eventually succeeded by the Western Chalukyas of Kalyani. Okay, so that's why it's important for your exam. So further we will discuss here. And besides the Pallavas, the Western Chalukya and Rashtrakuta in the Deccan constitute important political forces. Okay. And both these kingdoms had their rivals in the far south, namely the Pallavas and late the Cholas. Their period has also been important in the history of India for their cultural contribution. Okay. And first one is Chalukyas. The time period is 543 to 755 AD. The Western Chalukyas ruled over an extensive area in the Deccan for about 2 centuries, after which the Rashtrakutas became powerful. The family of Western Chalukyas had its four offshoots like the Eastern Chalukyas of Venki and the Chalukyas of Kalyani. And Pulakesin I was the founder of the Chalukya dynasty. He established a small kingdom with Vatapi or Badami as its capital. That is about Chalukyas. Next is Pulakeshin II and 608 to 642 AD. The most important ruler of this dynasty was Pulakeshin II. The Ahiol inscription issued by him given the details of his reign, and he fought with the Kadambas of Banavasi and Ganjars of Mysore and established his suzerainty. And Durvinita, the Ganga ruler, accepted his overlordship and even gave his daughter in marriage to Pulakeshin II. Another notable achievement of Pulakeshin II was the defeat of Harshavardhana on the bank of the river Narmada. And he put a check to the ambition of Harsha to conquer the south. In his first expedition against the Pallavas, Pulakeshin II emerged victorious. But he suffered a humiliating defeat at the hand of Narasimhavarman, one near Kanchi. Subsequently, the Chalukya capital Vatapi was captured and destroyed by the Pallavas. The most important event in the reign of Pulakeshin II was the visit of Hyensang to his kingdom. And the successor of Pulakeshin II was Vikramaditya. He once again consolidated the Chalukya kingdom and plundered the Pallava and capital Kanchi. And thus he had avenged his father's defeat and death at the hand of the Pallavas. Kirtivarman II was the last of the ruler of the Chalukyas. He was defeated by Dandidurga, the founder of the Rashtrakuta dynasty. And next is administration and social life under the Chalukyas. Chalukya administration was highly centralized, unlike that of Pallava and Cholas. Village autonomy was absent under the Chalukyas, and Chalukya had a great maritime power. Pulakeshin II had 100 ships in his navy. They also had a small standing army. The Badami Chalukyas were Brahmanical Hindus, but they gave respect to other religions. Importance was given to Vedic ritual rites and rituals. The founder of the dynasty, Pulakeshin I, performed the Ashwamedha sacrifice. A number of temples in honor of Vishnu, Shiva, and other gods were also built during this period. Huan Sang mentioned about the decline of Buddhism in Western Deccan, but Jainism was steadily on the path of progress in this region. Ravi Kirti, the court poet of Pulakeshin II, who composed the Ayhole inscription, was a Jain. Okay, that's about the administration and social life under the Chalukyas. And next is art and architecture. The Chalukyas were great patron of art. They developed the Vajara style in building of structural temples. However, the Vajara style reaches its culmination only under the Rashtrakutas and Hoysala. The structural temple of the Chalukyas exists at Ahiol, Badami, and Pattadakal. And cave temple architecture was also famous under the Chalukyas. Their cave temples are found in Ajanta, Ellora, and Nasik. So this is the one of the cave temple at Ajanta. Okay, so please refer this picture. You will get more idea from Google also. Please Google it. And the best specimens of Chalukya painting can be seen in the Badami cave temple and in the Ajanta caves. The reception given to a Persian embassy by Pulakeshin II is depicted in a painting at Ajanta. And the Chalukya temple may be divided into two stages. The first stage is represented by the temple at Ahiol and Badami. Among the 70 temples found at Ahiol, four are important. One is Ladkhan temple is a low, flat roofed structure consisting of a pillared hall. Next is Durga temple, resembles a Buddha Chaitya, and Huchimali Gudi temple, and the Jain temple at Meguti. These are the four ones. Among the temples at Badami, the Muktishwara temple and the Melaguti Shivalaya are notable for their architectural beauty. A group of four rock cut temples at Badami are marked by high workmanship, and the wall and pillared halls are adorned by beautiful image of gods and human beings. The second stage is represented by the temple at Pattadakal. There are 10 temples here, 4 in the northern style and the remaining 6 in the Dravidian style. The Papanatha temple is the most notable in the northern style, and the Sangameshwara temple and the Virupaksha temple are famous for their Dravidian style. So this is cave temple at Badami. Okay, this picture. And the Virupaksha temple is built on the model of the Kailasanada temple at Kanjipura. And it was built by one of the queen of Vikramaditya II. And sculptures brought from Kanji were employed in its construction. This is Virupaksha temple at Pattadakil. Okay. So you will get more pictures from Google. So it will help you for your more understanding of the art and architecture of this period. Next is Rashtrakutas. Its time period is 755 to 975 AD. Okay. The Rashtrakutas were of Kannada origin and the Kannada language was their mother tongue. And then the Durga was the founder of the Rashtrakuta dynasty. He defeated the Gujaras and captured Malwa from them. And then he annexed the Chalukya kingdom by defeating Kirtivarman II. Thus, Rashtrakutas became a paramount power in the Deccan. Okay, so it's more about the Kannada region. Okay, and his successor Krishna I was also a great conqueror. He defeated the Gangas and the eastern Chalukya of Bengi. He built the magnificent rock cut monolithic Kailasa temple at Ellora. The next important king of this dynasty was Govinda III, and he achieved victories over North Indian kingdom. His successor Amogha Varsha I, the around the time period is 815 to 880 AD, ruled for a long period of 64 years. He had lost control over Malwa and Gangavadi, and his reign was popular for the cultural development. And he was a follower of Jainism. Jainasena was his chief preceptor. He was also a patron of letters, and he himself wrote the famous Kannada work Kaviraja Marga. He had also built the Rashtrakuta capital, the city of Malkand or Manyaketa. Among the successors of Amoghavasha I, Krishna III, that is around 936 to 968 AD, was famous for his expeditions. He marched against the Cholas and defeated them at Takkolam. And he marched further south and captured Tanjore. He went as far as Rameshwaram and occupied it for some time. And he built several temples in the conquered territories, including the Krishneshwara temple at Rameshwaram. Throughout his reign, he possessed the Tondai region, including the capital Kanchi. After his death, the power of the Rashtrakutas declined. And next is administration. The Rashtrakuta Empire was divided into several provinces called Rashtrakutas under the control of Rashtrapatis. And they were further divided into Vishayas or district governed by Vishayapatis. The next subdivision was Bhukti, consisting of 50 to 70 villages under the control of Bhogapatis. These officers were directly appointed by the central government. The village administration was carried on by the village headman. However, the village assemblies played a significant role in the village administration. Next is society and economy. The Hindu sect of Vaishnavism and Shaivism flourished during the period of Rashtrakutas, and yet they did not affect the progress of Jainism under the patronage of Rashtrakuta kings and officers. And almost one third of the population of the Deccan were Jains. And there were some prosperous Buddhist settlements at places like Kaneri, Sholapur, and Darwar. And there was harmony among various religions. There was a college at Salatogi and situated in modern Bijapur district. An inscription gives details of this educational centers, and it was run by the income from the endowment made by the rich as well as by all the villages on occasions of functions and festivals. The economy was also in a flourishing condition, and there was an active commerce between the Deccan and the Arabs. The Rashtrakuta kings promoted the Arab trade by maintaining friendship with them. And the next is cultural contributions. The Rashtrakutas widely patronized the Sanskrit literature, and there were many scholars in the Rashtrakuta court. Trivikrama wrote Nalachambu, and Kavi Rahasya was composed by Halayuta during the reign of Krishna III. And the Jain literature flourished under the patronage of Rashtrakutas. And Amoghavasha I, who was a Jain, patronized many Jain scholars, and his teachers Jinazena composed Pashabudaya, a biography of Pashwa in verse. Another scholar, Gunabhadra, wrote the Adipurana and the life stories of various Jain saints. And Sagatayana wrote the grammar work called Amoga Vritti. The great mathematician of this period, and Veeracharya was the author of Ganita Saram. And the Kannada literature saw its beginning during the period of Rashtrakutas. Amoghavasha, that is Kavi Raja Marga, was the first poetic work in Kannada language. And Pamba was the greatest of the Kannada poets. His famous work was Vikramesha Nave Jaya. Okay, so just take care of the spellings. Okay, and Ponna was another famous Kannada poet, and he wrote Santi Purana. Next is art and architecture. Here, this is a Kailash temple of Ellora. Okay, and these all are main important artworks in that time. And the art and architecture of the Rashtrakuta were found at Ellora and Elephanta. At Ellora, the most remarkable temple in the Kailasa temple, it was excavated during the reign of Krishna I. It is curved out of a massive block of rock 200 feet long and 100 feet in breadth and height. The temple consists of four parts: the main shrine, the entrance gateway, and intermediate shrine for Nandi, and the mandapa surrounding the courtyard. And the temple stands on a lofty plinth 25 feet high, and the central face of the plinth has imposing figures of elephants and lions, giving the impression that the entire structure resets on their back. It has a three-tiered shikara or towers resembling the shikara of the Mamalapuram Rathas. And in the interior of the temple, there is a pillared hall which has 16 square pillars. And the Kailasa temple is an architectural marvel with its beautiful sculptures. And the sculpture of the goddess Durga is shown as slaying the buffalo demon. And in another sculpture, Ravana was making attempt to lift Mount Kailasa, the above of Shiva. The scenes of Ramayana were also depicted on the walls. The general characteristics of Kailasa temple are more Dravidian. So, Elephanta is an island near Bombay. It was originally called Sripuri. The Portuguese, after seeing the large figure of an elephant, named it Elephanta. The sculptural art of the Rashtrakutas reached its zenith in this place, and there is a close similarity between the sculptures at Ellora and those in Elephanta. And they might have been curved by the same craftsman. And at the entrance of the sanctum, there are huge figures of Dwara Palakas. And in the wall of the prakara around the sanctum, there are niches containing the images of Shiva in various forms. Nadaraja, Gangadhara, Ardhanarishwara, and Somaskanta. The most imposing figure of this temple is Trimurti. The sculpture is 6 meter high. It is said to represent the three aspects of Shiva as creator, preserver, and destroyer. Okay, so it's all about this unit, and so today we discussed from this unit the political history of Chalukyas of Badami, art and architecture of Chalukyas, and achievements of Rashtrakuta rulers, and cultural contributions of the Rashtrakutas, and literary developments during the Rashtrakuta rule. So, and one four short note questions are from this unit. One short note about Ellora and Elephanta, and Ahiol inscription and Pattadakal. Okay, so these are short note questions. uh, and so today we end here with this short notes, and for more content, do like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.